Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to the War Zone. I got my co-host in the building, Donovan Sadiq. I got the Queen, Demetra K. And I am the 5-star general. Got a brand new dance called to Tighten Up. You either start respecting your body or you die. It ain't no in between. I don't know what to tell you, but we're finna jump in your business tonight. Here we go. Say, man, I want to welcome you to the War Zone and tell you, as usual, I thank you for tuning in. Without a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. And without you guys, we would not be able to do anything. I could tell you that in a heartbeat. We wouldn't be able to do anything that we do. I think we got the best audience in the world. So, with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Demetra.
So hello, everybody, you wonderful people out there. Welcome to the War Zone on this fine Tuesday. We know that Gary is still a little bit tired because he was traveling all weekend and he's still trying to get his bearings about him. So we'll try to be on here an hour. And so I won't go into the news again today just so we don't go over. But today we are going to talk about health and all of that. Now, I want to just put a disclaimer out there. We are not experts or anything like that. We are just having or Donovan, okay, I guess he's an expert. We're just going to have the conversation. If you can all do us a favor and share this so that everybody can get the information. Hey, Corliss, what's happening? So everybody can get the information. And so we all know that we as Black people, have an issue with our health. We are some of the most unhealthy people. And I say, let's just leave it in the United States for now, okay? Because you can argue the world, but we are the most unhealthy people in the United States. We are leading the pack in everything. Blood pressure, heart attacks, diabetes, you name it. We are leading the charge in everything. And so we all know, new dude. Oh no, it's not. It's actually an old dude. I just took it down and feel like putting it up today. So we know a lot of that plays into our diet, lifestyle, our just everything to do with us. But let's take it to our diet. We know that we don't always make the right choices. We know we have a special cuisine called soul food, where it involves everything, as they say, from the rooter to the tutor. You name it, we gonna eat the feet, the ears, the tails, and the chitlins, chitlins as I would call it, the lip, the tail, the lip. You name it, we gonna put some hot sauce on it, okay? Or we gonna put some Big Mama's collection on it. So again, our diet is not the greatest. Fried diet, laid to the side, and all that. And lifestyle, stress. A lot of times, just being Black in America will stress you out. Just waking up, you're already stressed, right? Getting in the car, you're stressed. You think maybe the popo gonna pull you over and it's your last day on earth. So we got a lot. Somebody says that Kool-Aid. Yes, Donovan. That Kool-Aid. We know we can't put the regular recommended dosage of sugar in the Kool-Aid. We gotta, as they say, until the ancestors say that's enough, child. And it's basically diabetes in the drink, right? So we are going to have that discussion. Of course, exercise is another thing. They especially say we as Black women, a lot of times we don't want to mess our hair up, so we won't go exercising because I can't sweat my dew out. But we need to exercise. And, I'm just going to start with me. I'll be transparent with you guys. I've been a vegan for almost 7 years. Now, when I got down to my smallest, I was 143 pounds. I was pretty small. Donovan tell you I was a size 4. That's a little bit on the skinny side. Well, let's say I'm not a size 4 anymore. because as I also say, Oreos and French fries are vegan too. Okay, so let's say I've had quite a few of those, and so I am going to my renew my health, if you will, and my attitude, and going back to where I was when I was at my fittest, if that's even a word, or I was most fit. But yeah, so we're just gonna have this conversation. You guys, please, in the comment section, feel free to jump in with your suggestions, comments, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are watching, or maybe health nuts and all of that. You guys have a little bit more information than we do. And so, Gary, I'm going to turn it over to you, or whoever really wants to jump in. We're just having an open conversation. And Corliss, she's going to share some ideas with us because I've actually had a conversation with Corliss a few times, and she says that she has a son who actually, you said, lost over 100 pounds since December or something like that. And that was really due to her cooking for him and changing his diet. And so we're going to talk to her about that. And Donovan actually has changed his diet too. He's holding that sauce up. And so, Gary, I'm going to go ahead and give it back over to you, Gary.
Well, the first thing is I'm an old age lion, and today we're gonna rub some dirt on it because I'm killing the grass when I'm laying on the grass. I'm gonna rub some dirt on it, so we're gonna rock as long as we need to rock. I'm good. I want to say, send a shout out to my man. He always tunes in. State representative up in Texas, 142, Harold Dutton. He always tunes in. One of my favorite politicians that I know works very, very hard for the African American community. So I just want to say, what's up, Rep Dutton? Can't wait till legislation go in next year so we can raise a little hell, because that's what we do. And then stood on them state capitol steps with him, raising a little hell. So I'm coming. Respect your body or die. On an average day, I run about 20 hours a day. I run about 20 hours a day. I hardly get any sleep. Um, During the course of that day, because I want y'all like family, so I gotta let the family know. During the course of that day, I'm gonna take my antibiotics. I'm gonna take my Tylenol threes. I'm gonna take my meds. Well, why are you taking antibiotics? Because I have stents on my bladder, and on my bladder with the stents is kidney stones. I know that's what it is because that's what I had before, and I had to have surgery. So when you get kidney stones on your bladder, it stops you from using the restroom normally. So you urinate in spurts, and your spurts may be 3 to 4 seconds, compared to when your normal man just goes to the restroom and uses the restroom. So on an average, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep, I may have to use the restroom 15 times a night. 15 times a night. So how did it end up like that? Well, it ended up like that because I was really running about 26 hours a day back in the day, and I started getting diverticulitis. If you don't know what that is, you don't want it. People say, man, you'll never understand the pain that a woman goes through when she gives birth to a child. Yes, I will, because if you get diverticulitis, you will understand it. And it dehydrates you. It makes you think you had a COVID when you got diverticulitis. Well, the way that I got diverticulitis, it wasn't because I was eating unhealthy. It was because I was just eating regular food and didn't know what wouldn't dissolve in my colon. So here's the thing. I used to love to eat. Remember, I worked in stadiums. So every day I would go in, I would eat a bunch of popcorn. Bunch of popcorn. Had no clue that the popcorn wasn't dissolving in my colon. And I'd eat Snicker bars. They got peanuts in the Snicker bars. So the peanuts from the popcorn and the Snicker bars were not dissolving in my colon. So those peanuts were sitting in pockets in my colon. So what happened was it infected my colon. Anything that doesn't dissolve in your system can infect your colon. This is what I've learned through this journey. So that how people laughed in the movie Friday when Ezel was using when old boy was smoking was using the bathroom and Ezel talking about he could see corn. That's because corn doesn't dissolve in your system. So anything that does not dissolve in your system can end up infecting your colon. So I end up in the hospital. They had to remove a section of my colon. That's where I had to get cut open. And life has been totally different for me. Now I want you to understand about respecting your body and doing the things that you need to do. You miss the simplest things when you end up sick. And I'm gonna say this. Some people may think I'm joking. Man, I would love to be able to sit on a toilet and use the restroom. That hasn't happened for 5 years. That's why when the COVID came, you never heard me complain about toilet paper. I don't need it because I didn't take care of my body. Running hard like I run and not eating properly will when I say shut your body completely down, it will shut your body completely down. I hear the success stories of people losing weight. I have one. I mean, I did it twice. When I was in the hospital sick, I lost over 100 pounds, but I didn't consider that the right way to lose weight. That was unhealthy. I lost weight unhealthy, but in my past, I've lost 150 pounds by just working out and weight training and doing stuff like that. So I know that it's possible. Um, I implore y'all with what I deal with on a daily basis. I throw dirt on me every other day for y'all because I sit in pain every other day. These stents have affected my right leg. It's hard for me to stand long periods of time. It's hard for me to walk long distances, but I keep pushing. And today was one of those days I couldn't push no more. I had to respect my body. And if you don't respect your body, I'm telling you, you're gonna be laying up in a hospital wishing you did. You're gonna be laying in the hospital wishing you did. Now I've done, like I say, I've ate healthy in the past, and it was just the simple things like the popcorn and the Snicker bars and those peanuts not dissolving. Then and when I say you do not, if you've never had diverticulitis, you don't want it. You do not want it. If you're a grown man, oh, I'm a tough guy, and diverticulitis is the real not fucking around coalition. I'm telling you, because it will break you completely down. Break you down. That's just one aspect of it. I think that we can eat better. Today, Carlos was
Wi-Fi isn't set up.
hold on.
For help.
Today, Carlos was real nice. Got me tuna from Subway. Got me tuna. And that's okay because some days I actually want to eat tuna. I love tuna, but I can't eat it the old way. You know, the old way was a bunch of Miracle Whips, some eggs, and freak it with a big glass of Kool-Aid like it came out the projects. You know, with all the sugar from one bag. I mean, I need you guys to really stop. As you get older, it's hard. It's hard getting this weight off you as you get older. It's hard to get this weight off you as they get older. So as I see older women continuously working out, that motivates me. I mean, it's just a lot of things that I do a little bit different. Like in Minnesota, this past trip, I think I ate meat twice because beef takes forever to pass through your body. I don't want it. I didn't want it. I'm good. I started eating more fish. Fish takes about 45 minutes to pass through. Beef can take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. And it just sits there. So, you know, respect your body, man, or end up dead. That's all it boils down to. So think about it. You may say, well, he's a big guy. But if I hadn't been respecting my body like talking about after what I went through, then I guarantee you I would not be here 5 years later because that's what it was. And I flatlined when I went to the hospital with diverticulitis that last time, and they had to remove a portion of my colon. I'm an open book when it comes to certain things. Really, when it comes to all things, I'm an open book. But when it comes to that, I don't hide it. I keep it real because I want you to know what you are gonna go through. So I'll turn this over to Donovan.
Well, health in the Black community is one of the biggest
problems that we have. And we kind of know the history of why we eat the way we do. It's like, going back to our slave roots. We it ain't like the master put out the turkey for Thanksgiving and the nice dressing and all that. It was whatever what was left, the slop, the whatever, and that's what we got, the entrails. That's why, you can't eat everybody's chitlins, because I'm like, wait a minute, we're eating what? You know what I'm saying? So, historically, this is, it's rooted from slavery and how we were treated here in America. But I will say this. Big Mama's collection, watermelon flavor, okay? Very hard to stay on my diet because it goes good on everything, okay? It goes good on everything. And hey, I paid a nice little price for this. I'm telling you, I want to try it on everything. And that's another one of our problems, Corliss. Stop inventing stuff that tastes so damn good.
So, Corey,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I just put up Alonzo's his quote. Diet's are temporary. It has to become a lifestyle. He's exactly right. It has to become a lifestyle. And I always wondered after I got sick, why is it that when I go to Kroger's in River Oaks, they ain't got all this shit in this Kroger's like they got over in the HEB in the hood. You ain't finna find no pigtails like talking about over there in the white neighborhood. You gonna get a bunch of fresh vegetables. That's why people started complaining about the type of stores we have in our neighborhoods, because they cater to a bad lifestyle of eating. That's all I wanted to say.
So, Corliss, tell us your story. Like, tell us how, or if you have a personal story. But like I said, you were mentioning to me how you helped your son come down a whole lot in weight due to your cooking. So, tell us about that.
Well, I can say this: I've always struggled with my weight all my life. Growing up, I was skinny. Teenage years, not so much. High school, not so much either. I think I'm the biggest girl in the family, truthfully. My dad was a track star. Metabolism runs very well on my side. I guess it's given me, and I took after my.
For some reason, we're having a little bit of difficulty hearing you. It's cutting out really bad. So I don't know, maybe.
I can tell you what the problem is. She's on iPhone or iPad.
Oh,
so may have to log out and come back in on your phone.
Laptop. Okay.
Gotta figure it out.
Okay.
Oh, we hear you now. We can hear you now. Oh.
Just on.
All right. So until Corliss comes back, and I want to say hello, Jonelle. He mentioned How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I happen to have both volumes, right? Very good books. They talk about what we should or should not be eating. You might be able to see that I've thoroughly outlined both books. I have read both volumes. And Gary, to your point, it talks about not eating things like peanuts and corn and stuff like that because it's hard on your system. And my father's been a Muslim for, since he was 19. He will not eat peanuts for nobody. Because it's like it's hard on the digestive system. So everything you're saying is backed up in these two books here. And I actually use it to some degree because I don't, totally eat from it, bean soup and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely a good dietary guide, if you will. But I agree with Alonzo in that it shouldn't be a diet. It should be a lifestyle. All right, so Corliss, let's hear what you got.
Is that better? Okay. With me, I don't know. It's always I'm an emotional warrior, so it fluctuates. But even with my son, it started in December, and he now.
What are you on now?
The laptop.
You're gonna have to get off the laptop. You're gonna have to go through your phone. For some reason, the laptop is giving us major feedback. Yeah, I can tell you, your father is absolutely right. I had no clue about the peanuts because the two things that I love peanuts and I love corn. Man, I could eat corn every day. That's how much I love corn. But when the doctor told me no more corn, I'm sitting in the hospital like, how in the hell am I gonna survive now? Because this is what I love to eat. And I had no choice. And he just blatantly told me, he said, either you stop eating corn or you die. He
Mm.
said it's not gonna work for your system. It's not gonna work for your system. And I just think that we have to take it very, very seriously. You have to respect your body. You have to listen to your body. You know, if you don't listen to nobody else, listen to your body. Because when your body says enough is enough, then it's enough. I mean, when you listen to your body, say you like alcohol. See, some people like to laugh when they partner be drinking and throwing up. Well, what you don't realize is when he's throwing up, that means the alcohol is poisons his body. His body won't take, he can't take it anymore. It's not that he can't keep drinking. He's actually poisoning his body at that point. I learned that from taking TABC classes, Texas Alcohol and Beverage Commission classes. So it ain't a fun thing when you figure out what you actually doing to your body. You know, I eat in moderation now. Um, and what amazes people nowadays is they think because I'm a big dude, I eat a lot. No, I actually don't. I don't eat a lot at all. I eat small portions. I mean, breakfast, cook me breakfast. I remember back in the day, I could eat 6 eggs, big old spoon of grits, 4, 5 pieces of bacon. Nowadays, 1 egg, a half a spoon of grits, some orange juice, and maybe something, turkey bacon or something. But once I eat that, I am totally, totally full compared to back in the day when I could just go in like the fat boys and knock your buffet smooth out the side of the back wall. So, and I'm being honest with y'all, man. I was on the offensive line, so I ran with the hogs. So it was what it was. The thing is you have to eat in moderation, but you have to work out. You have to work out some kind of way. And the thing that bugs me about working out is the way I lost the pounds is I love to weight train. I love to play with the weights. So when I first started, I'm the big football player. I'm so strong, Demetri. I'm so strong. And couldn't lift a 35-pound dumbbell. Couldn't lift a 35-pound dumbbell. But I kept going, and in about 2 years, lost 150 pounds. At that point, when I first started, I was bench pressing about 135. But when I hit that last bench press, I'll never forget that day I hit 400.
Mm.
I hit 400. Couldn't pick up a 35-pound dumbbell. To curl the dumbbell, I couldn't pick up a 35-pound dumbbell. But 2 years later, I could curl 100-pound dumbbells. So the way that I trained, I increased the weights, but still got the same amount of reps. So, and I would actually count all my reps. So if I'm doing my arm day and I had 2,000 reps of arms or whatever I was doing, as I increased my weight, I never decreased the amount of reps that I did. So the way that I would want to work out now, I don't have a partner that can work out with me. Because if we gonna get on that bench, we gonna get on that bench and go to work. So I just don't do all this fly stuff and y'all be jumping on through the all up on the ceiling and all. I don't do all that. I do it the old school way. So please respect your body, man. I mean, when your body tell you something, you better listen to it.
All right, Corliss, what you got?
I've learned, like I said, with my son, we started off cutting out meat, and he started in December. He just woke up and he's like, I don't want to be fat anymore. We have a history. Well, their father passed from a heart attack at 33, and that's young to have a massive heart attack. Grandfather died from a stroke. Grandmother died from a stroke. So, Black folks, heart attacks and strokes, diabetes, You name it, hypertension, we have it. And we just changed diet. A gallon of water a day. So people that look at water and say, "Oh, a gallon is a lot of water." Well, every day that Gary's home, he gets Trenta waters of 4 Trenta cups of water equals 1 gallon of water. Okay. So you change that. Flour, cut out no red meat. We just, went with no meat. And within, I say 3 months, 4 months, he was down 130 pounds. So it works. He worked out, he went and he walked, and, he did his thing. I eventually fell off because I go back and forth to California. So, hey, home is where we get all the good stuff. So, you fall off there. But as far as my sauce, Donovan, it's vegan, so it's good for you. Watermelon sauce makes everything good. But you just cut back on what you eat. No eating after 6 o'clock, no sugar, cakes and cookies and zoom zooms and wham whams, all the stuff that we love to do. Sugar is sugar is almost as bad on your body as heroin is, for real. It's bad. It's like a drug. It's an addiction. So you have to cut it out. While I was in California, we decided to do the what is it? The 10-day smoothie cleanse by JJ. And I think I lost 8 pounds before I came home. And I too got sick, like maybe almost a year and a half ago. And I literally died because I was bleeding to death, not knowing, you know what I'm saying? And I had dropped down to, I think, like 245 pounds. And I didn't even know I was that small until I was rushed to the hospital. So, yeah.
Demetra and Donovan, I look at another problem that we got right now. Of course, we're in the middle of a pandemic. And those that are stuck in the house, it's really nothing else to do but eat. A lot of people ain't doing nothing but sitting in the house and just eating. I'm being honest because come on, y'all, that's what it is. A lot of people ain't doing nothing but sitting in the house and eating. Like, for example, I see this dude, big time political consultant, Justin Jordan. Every night, Justin is cooking something. He's a chef. He's a professional chef as well. And every night, Justin is cooking something fabulous online. He doing it online to show you. But some of those meals I couldn't touch. I mean, pork and beef just ain't digesting right for me no more. So, I think that even being in the house, and Donovan, maybe you could speak on it, during the pandemic is not a good thing because it's allowing people to overeat.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Especially like, when you're from an environment like Houston or, a major city where, y'all got Papa Do's down there, I mean, I can go over there and just get me a plate and, right off the highway and keep going and doing what I got to do. So, when you're so used to going out with the fast food and stuff, and now that you're inside, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, ladies, but there's a lot of y'all that can't cook. So y'all giving the kids the top ramen with the sodium. And, you guys know who you are. You know what I'm talking about. You're giving the kids the top ramen and the sodium that's really high and things like that. You're giving them the plated meals. And, you guys aren't really cooking like you want to cook. Okay, I'm going to give you a good hint. My mom is here right now. My refrigerator's never been fuller. And she's just cooking, just cooking. But, when I look at my contemporaries, a lot of the ladies are, I mean, why does an 8-year-old kid have high blood pressure at 8 years old?
Because of Popeyes with the special on the Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We're taking the kids, to McDonald's because it's easier, it's just quicker, it's this, that. I mean, and so if that habit is formed at a young age, what are they going to do when they get into adulthood? They're going to do what they've been taught to do. And, I'm going to make a real quick story. Like for me, I've been skinny all my life, right? Everybody used to make fun of me. I wasn't, I was too lean to be a football player. That wasn't going to happen. Everybody used to, the girls used to love the guys with a little meat in their bones, and they're, it's like the general there. He's playing football, doing all that good stuff, right? But revenge is so sweet because now that my metabolism has slowed down and I'm in my 50s, I'm like, right now I'm 64 pounds, something like that right now. Looking good. I look at my contemporaries, man, some of these guys, they look like old men. And another reason that is because they're still eating in the same habits that they're used to eating in. So
Al asked me, am I a beast on the barbecue pit? I'm cold as ice water. I was offshore catering manager for 12 years. That carries no weight. I know some offshore catering managers that can't cook a lick, but I can actually cook and bake anything that I want to make. I mean, I love, instead of going buy cornbread mix, I can make it from cornmeal. So, yeah, I can hold that pit down, Al. Demetri?
So I want to talk about some things that might not be your fault necessarily, and I'll just go ahead and share my story. I saw somebody earlier mention something about your thyroid. Well, I've had hypothyroidism when your thyroid is underactive since I was 34, so about 15 years now. And that means that it can be hard for you to lose weight. I'm the type of person, to be honest with you, if I eat bad and not exercise in a week's time, I could gain easily 5 pounds, just really easily. One week, my clothes fit fine, and the next is like, the buttons are hollering for dear life. Also, there's something like menopause, which I happen to be going through too. 1 minute your stomach is, I don't want to say flat like I'm skinny, but flatter. And then later on that day, it looks like you swallowed a whole baby elephant. So some of those things, contribute to weight gain. But I will say this, even though I did have hypothyroidism, I was able to lose quite a bit of weight. But with that, just being transparent, I had to work out sometimes 2 and 3 times a day, on top of being a very staunch vegan at the time. So I was able to do all of those things. But I just think people do have issues where it's hard to lose weight, but it's not impossible to lose weight. But a lot of it is really in our heads. Our body, our mind is in control of our body, but we often operate the other way, where our body or our mouth is in control of the rest of us. Like, our mouth is a very small thing, and a lot of times we allow it to say, well, you're hungry. Are you sure could go for some ice cream? Are you sure could go for some French fries? And it's like, well, no, you could, but you shouldn't, right? So it really starts up here. That's what I've learned.
Let me say this too, because I know people, like, when we go in the grocery stores, we look at all natural and organic. But a lot of people don't know that a lot of the organic stuff, so-called, is also genetically modified. So how do you know what's not genetically modified unless you look up the numbers and the numbers? So when you walk in the store, you say, oh, that's organic, oh, this is all natural, but we truly don't know. So a lot of people need to learn how to garden, because that's going to be the next best thing, because what's going to happen when we can't get to the grocery stores anymore? Or because you don't know what they're putting in the food. And a lot of the times, our bodies crave things because it's encoded in the foods that we're eating. So that's another thing that makes us sick as well.
Now, when you say genetically modified, that makes me think of things that I think about. Older people live 90, 100. See people live 101. And they was eating chickens out the yard. They was eating the pigs off the farm. And now we tell ourselves, oh, we can't eat that. And we're dying younger and younger. It's all genetically modified. It's all some type of chemicals in this food that you buying up at these stores. Because them older people lived and they ate the same things all the time. That's where you learned how to cook a good pot of red beans from your great grandmother. That's where you learned how to cook that New Year's Day meal with them chitlins and hog maws. This is what they ate all the time. So why is it that now that we eat it, it's so unhealthy and it's no, because they putting all this stuff in it. They putting out, you can't even, they didn't eat the green beans from Lil John off the section that had all the vegetables in the cans. Their food came out of their gardens. So yeah, getting back to gardening and eating fresh vegetables, I think you'll see a big difference because I don't trust none of this stuff that you buy in stores anymore. I don't, Demetri.
No, Corliss actually hit on a good point. I actually wanted Donovan to put this picture up because that's when I was at, I guess, one of my smallest. I'm a little bit bigger than that now. But that's when I was doing, 2 and 3 times a day. Like I was a beast. But I was also a little bit obsessive. And so I wanted to kind of talk to that point too. I was one of those people, I just got obsessed with it. Every time I ate something, I had to go do a couple of miles, or I had to go lift some weights because in my head, I felt like I was always fat. At my heaviest in life, I was about 217. That's the heaviest I was. And when I went on my weight loss journey, I was about 195 or something like that. But I never saw myself as fit. And so now when I look back at pictures, like those type of pictures, I'm like, wow, well, I was fit. So I guess the point that I'm making is, too, is that you got to see yourself as good enough. Now, I'm not saying good enough no matter what size and stuff I am, because we live in a society where people will say, well, you thick, or it's okay to be a big girl. And it is. Some people, everybody's not going to be a size 2. Let's just talk about that. But I think we need to get away, and I hope I'm not getting in trouble with anybody, but I think we need to get away from that. Even if you're a big girl or a big guy, you are still healthy, because you're not. We know that it puts, being fat and having especially a lot of fat around our midsection, which, I have, I'll be honest with you, it causes issues with our organs. I had a doctor tell me that. She said the more fat you have around your organs, the more unhealthy you are, and the more you're at risk to having cancers and, organ failures and a whole host of other things. But I would just say, more importantly, we do have to learn to love ourselves, but we also have to be honest with ourselves.
Well, what stopped me from back in the day where I was like, I kind of shied away from trying to, do all the weight training, because in my mind frame, I wasn't finna kill myself to look good, to look the way that people wanted me to look. And it just one day I just woke up and decided to try it a little bit, and I fell in love with it. I mean, and then I got to a point because I was dropping weight so fast that I hadn't. Remember, I moved out of town. I hadn't seen my mom for a while, and the first time she saw me, my back was turned. She didn't even know who I was because I had lost so much weight, and it just got to a point with me where I felt uncomfortable. Now that's gonna sound crazy to some of y'all. That I lost 150 pounds, but I felt uncomfortable because it wasn't me. It just wasn't me. I mean, you could see the veins in my neck. My face was like half smaller than this. I wasn't comfortable, so I had to try to gain some balance. And I was working out so much that it was unreal. I would actually do 5,000 push-ups every day, 5,000 sit-ups every day, because I just felt every calorie that I felt I put on that day, I had to do enough weight training to get that calorie off me. It worked, but I damn near killed myself doing it. But I don't think you have to kill yourself to accomplish your goal nowadays. You just gotta make sure that you're eating the right things, and that meat and the way that it digests. I'm telling you, I can feel the difference when I don't eat beef and pork. I can feel the difference. I got that bounce in my step in the mornings, man. But when I eat that beef and that pork, it's like it drags me down. It just drags me down. So I'm trying to stay away from that. Talking to Rhonda Prince, from Rap A Lot Records, she say stay away from that dairy. She say that dairy stuff will mess you up too. So I get good input from everybody, but like when you travel a lot, oh man, and I'm shaking my head because I'm telling y'all how I feel. This is how I genuinely feel. I hate some days when I travel because you in Minnesota and ain't nothing open. Ain't nothing open but the corner store. So you got to get it how you live until something open. And you just get to a point that you don't want to be unhealthy. But some days you put in positions like you said earlier with the thyroids and different things like that. I get that from ladies a lot. That some days you can't control it, but if you can control it, control it. Donovan.
Well, and that those are all important points. A lot of people always ask. A lot of my buddies always ask me. They go, Donovan, man, you still look, trim and fit. Well, my dog's going to be 8 years old in October. And I walk this dog every day for about 15 to 30 minutes. And that's pretty much all I do. I do a little weight stuff and stuff like that. But, I have friends that they sit and they think there's going to be a magical pill that's going to take away. I mean, if you go to the VA, you'll see those guys just in there and there's no magical pill for being healthy. You got to make a conscious effort. And, it's like Dimitri was saying, you've got some women, beautiful women, that will not just walk, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day because they don't want to sweat their hair out. It's just things like that. You got to supplement what you're doing to your diet. Dimitri used to go up this mountain we have here called Mount Rubidoux. And I think, if she can go up there now, she would too. But, she goes at least once a day, sometimes twice, so it has to go hand in hand. But if you're going to sit around and just wait for a magical pill, that's not going to happen. And if you get watermelon sauce, you want to try it on everything, that's not going to help you. But see, I'm skinny, so this is helping me put weight on. So it's a reverse thing for me. So, but yeah, there's all kinds of things that we can do. And I know there's medical conditions and there's all kinds of stuff. Some people are genetically gifted. Some people are genetically inferior, like myself. I'm skinny. But even in the military, they didn't care how big you got. Even they don't care how small you got. You still had to get up and be able to run 1.5 miles within 15 minutes.
So here's a question for Demetri and Carlos. All right. Well, I'm the big dude. I'm 52. I'm still here. Why all these healthy people dying so fast? Some ain't right. I'm just telling you what I see someday. I see people that are in perfectly good health. They was out running the track yesterday, and then the next day they dead. What's the deal with that?
Well, a lot of times it doesn't necessarily have to do with diet. It has to do with lifestyle as well. Some people, stress is a silent killer. And a lot of people don't realize that what stress will do to you. Stress kills people all the time. You don't necessarily, and that's another thing too, to your point, because I kind of want to merge you and Donovan's points together. Donovan says, I'm a skinny guy. And so, basically genetically, certain things I don't have to worry about. But just because you're a skinny person don't mean you're healthy. Some people just have a fast metabolism and they eat garbage all day long. They ain't seen a vegetable since kindergarten. But that doesn't mean that you're healthy. You got cancer. Skinny people get cancer. Steve Jobs, a CEO of Apple, he died of pancreatitis cancer, and he was a fruitarian, which means all he ate was fruit. And he, succumbed to cancer. And so, being a smaller person doesn't mean that you're necessarily healthy. It goes in with your diet, your lifestyle. Just certain things. Do you get enough sleep? Are you smoking? Are you drinking? Like, are you really doing things that are conducive overall to having a healthy life? It's not just about diet. Do you exercise? Are you going walking 30 minutes for 3 times, at least 3 times a week? All right. So all those things work together. It's not just really one thing, because there's a lot of skinny people who, eat fried chicken all the time, don't ever exercise, they smoke, they drink. I mean, I'm skinny though. But let's open your insides and see what those look like. Corliss?
Well, let me just say this. Let me see. How do you see it? You guys see this? This is one of the best things on the market. And I stumbled upon it, but it has no salt and it tastes delicious. So if you're looking for something that's good to season food with, this is it. My kid's grandfather was in excellent condition. This man got out and walked 2 miles every day, in the morning and in the afternoon. And one day he just had a stroke. He ate no pork, no red meat, lean chicken, was always healthy, so they say. But William, you can go on bigmamascollection.com and order the watermelon sauce. Big Mama with the SMAMA, Big Mamas. And you just would have never thought, like, here today, gone today, stroke today. He was just, it was like you're baffled. So, like I said, one thing I can say, the stuff that we eat today is not the stuff that our grandparents ate. My grandmother, they raised everything that we ate as children. Today, nobody has time. Well, we got time now, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. And I mean, I think water is key for me. I think the Lord just knows not to let me get down to about 175, Donovan, because I would just be out of control. Okay. So he knows to keep a little weight on me, baby. Because I'll be a hotmess.com.
Yes, indeed. I know how you feel. No, but seriously, that's another thing. Salt. Oh my God, salt is like kryptonite, especially to Black people. For some reason, we just have an intolerance to salt, right? But you think, because I'm the same way, I have an intolerance to salt. I can tell when I'm eating too much salt. I can just feel my blood pressure just go up, right? But I think what we don't realize that there's salt in everything already. There's salt and soda and sodium. And, if you eat out, they already put and Corliss, you're a chef, so you can speak to that. The ingredients that goes into foods when you eat out. And then what do? We get the salt shaker and we put more salt on top of our food. And so to Corliss's point, and I want you to speak upon that since you do have the culinary background, there's so many other ways to get flavor out of your food than to put salt. So talk to us a little bit about that.
What I've learned, what do I get? I used to like salt. I think I've changed. There are many different books that you can buy on healthier varieties of salt, like Himalayan salt, non-iodine. That's another thing to look for. Iodine is not good for us. There are different varieties of sea salt. I said pink, Himalayan, they have black. And use herbs. Herbs are like fresh herbs. You can grow them. You can grow them in the house. They don't have to be outside. You can dry them in the oven on probably about 125 if you don't have a dehydrator. Make your own fresh herbs. Use lemons and oranges. And I mean, it's just all different kind of ways that you can, things that you can use to prepare food. Salt is, I won't say it's not a necessity because salt makes everything better, but moderation is a better key. Stop frying stuff, y'all. Stop frying stuff, because I want you to think about it like this. Vegetable shortening. I see Donovan back there. Vegetable shortening, it is not from vegetables. That's number one. And if anything like Crisco solidifies in a can you imagine what it does in your body? I mean, if you just have to have something fried, I would say use coconut oil. because it does digest. It doesn't stick to you. Not saying use it on a consistent basis every day. Fish, like Monroe was saying, he eats fish or whatever, but you can take fish and put it in foil paper. Add your vegetables in there. You can throw it on the grill. You can throw it in the oven. It's just a lot of different things you can do. Juicing is another great thing for us. I'm telling you, our body loves juice. People look at kale and celery. So let me tell you guys something. Celery is one of the best things that you can juice in your life. It tastes nasty as hell. Tastes like you're drinking dirt. But if you take a lemon or a lime and put it in there, and probably, I don't know, I use the lime and probably something else, it'll take the taste out, but you have to get past probably the first or the second day. But it does so much for your body, and it literally flushes you out. It's a diuretic. It helps to get rid of salt, bloating. Kale, get you some fresh cranberries when they come in season. Papaya is another good diuretic. Watermelon is wonderful, but make sure that you guys are using fruits that have seeds. Seedless grapes, think about it. How do you make a seedless grape? Every fruit has to have a seed. That's what it comes from. It's like having kids. You can get artificially inseminated, but at the end of the day, you need a seed to grow anything. You know what I'm saying? So everything that we eat needs to have a seed in it. And that's pretty much all I could tell you, but juicing is really good for you.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this real quick, and I think Demetra could speak on it a little bit better, because I noticed on a lot of shows we've done in the past, Demetra is always drinking this beet juice. What's your take on beet juice? And that's nothing about Black folks. We eat pretty much the same stuff over and over again and not varying our diets. Yeah, we love the greens. We get cabbage, in the wintertime, how we do that. But what's your take on beets and Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, just the little things that are a little bit different?
Beets. We have to be very careful with that. So I was telling you guys before, I have fibroids, and I did not know that I had fibroids. And a lot of Black women, minority, brown women have fibroids. So I was told to drink beet juice. So I came up with my own very own creative combination. So I use beet juice, fresh beets, grapefruit, blood orange, and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And I would drink that every day. You know what it did? It shot me up. My blood sugar was so high that it was ridiculous. And I didn't know, because I'm listening to people say, drink beet juice. But actually the roots to the beets are better than the beets themselves. People don't want to drink those because they taste nasty, but it's healthier for us because beet content has a lot of sugar. So you just have to be very careful. Like, I wouldn't say drink it every day because it's going to spike your sugar. I like cauliflower. I like broccoli. I love Brussels sprouts. People are like, ugh, Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are baby cabbage. That's all they are. If you wash them, cut them in half, toss them in, I would say butter, but I'm not going to tell y'all that. So what I will tell you, though, a good butter alternative that's vegan is Miyoko's. I think that's the name of it, and they sell it in Whole Foods. But she has an alternate to butter. It is vegan, and it tastes exactly like butter. I make my own butter at home. Okay, so I can't say I know exactly what's in it because I still have to get the heavy cream. Broccoli rab, I think, is better than regular broccoli. If the long stalks or whatever, squash is very good for us. Spaghetti squash is better, like a better alternative than noodles. So that would be something to look at. So like say if you want um a healthy version of spaghetti and meat sauce, you can take what are those mushrooms?
Oyster.
You can use oyster mushrooms or you can use portobello mushrooms, and you can season them. You can put them in a food processor and make them into a crumble. And then you can use any red sauce, whatever you want to use. And then you take the spaghetti squash, you brush it with like an oil or something like that. You put it in the oven and you take it out, you scrape it out, and it looks just like spaghetti, and it's really good. So that's an alternative.
So I want to say, and Benny, I saw your comment. You say you and your wife have gone vegan for about 6 to 7 months now. So I give you some mentoring. I will say this. This is the easiest way I can explain veganism to anybody. Veganism or even vegetarianism. Okay, now let me explain the difference. The difference between being a vegan and a vegetarian is a vegan eats that has nothing to do with animals at all. They don't eat anything from the animal, whether it's fish, milk, butter, any of that stuff. It's really fruits and vegetables, right? And a vegetarian, they do eat fish and eggs and that kind of stuff. Now, I will say this about veganism. Well, I really like the term plant-based because to be a vegan, like a true vegan, that means you don't have leather seats in your car, you don't wear leather shoes, you don't wear leather belts, and all of that kind of stuff, right? So I like to use the term more plant-based, but the key to doing that is really eating fruits and vegetables. A lot of times people have it backwards and thinking, well, if I don't eat meat, then that makes me a vegan. No, you eating fruits and vegetables actually make you a vegan or a vegetarian because, like I said, Oreos are vegan. It just means it doesn't have butter or milk or anything like that. French fries are vegan, but those things aren't good for you. And another alternative to frying in olive oil, and I agree with you, we should, as Black people, just get away from the frying as much. Grapeseed oil is actually a lot better for you. And I would also say this in regards to taste, and I have to say this to a lot of people. This, yeah, you probably ain't gonna like this, but grow up. Grow up. Everything ain't gonna taste like, steak or fried chicken. No, beets aren't, it doesn't taste as good as Kool-Aid, but beets actually does have a health benefit. It's good for your blood. Now, as Corliss' point, it does have sugar. So, you might not want to mix a whole lot of other stuff that has a lot of high sugar. Because when you were telling me the ingredients, I was like, oh, shoot, that ain't nothing but sugar. But everything is not going to taste good. Yeah, Brussels sprouts ain't sexy tasting. I like them, though. To a lot of people, they don't taste all that great, but they're good for you. Kale, depending on, I know Muslims, they stay away from kale, but I actually like kale. I like to juice kale. But we really just have to grow our palate up. And, and you can't eat chicken nuggets for the rest of your life. You're going to have to eat some things that grown-ups eat, and that's fruits and vegetables, because this is what the best way it was told to me. You're either going to pay for it now or you're going to pay for it later. And so what I mean by that is, because a lot of times people say, well, being a vegan is expensive. Not really. Cut out the meat and stuff. You do it right if you eat fruits and vegetables. But keep having that attitude. And when you get older, you're going to pay for it on that end because you'll be at the doctor 4 and 5 times a week. You'll have a medicine cabinet full of medicines and a whole host of things if you would have just did it right on the front end. So that's all I got to say. Just grow up. Ow.
Final thoughts, Donovan.
Well, again, not everybody's recipe for fitness is going to be the same. I know you got these stars. Oprah does it one way. This person does it way. But there isn't a one, type program that fits everybody. Find the program that fits what you need to do and lose, a healthy weight and just be comfortable, in a weight that you're going to be comfortable in, and just be consistent at it. Just be consistent at it.
Final thoughts, Carlos.
Water is your best friend. You can eat everything you want, but water is your best friend. Every day, you should be drinking at least a gallon of water. And you'd be surprised how much better you feel.
Final thoughts, Demetri.
I know. I actually totally agree. I actually have a 2.5 gallon water thing right here that I need to start working on. But I agree with you. Water is your best friend. It'll make your skin healthier, and and you won't need a lot of makeup, ladies, and all that to clear up your complexion. But I would say just what I said a minute ago: grow up. Grow up. We like, and I'm speaking to myself too, and I'm speaking to y'all, speaking to myself. We have to learn discipline with our diets, because at the end of the day, what you put in your mouth will kill you or it'll heal you. It's really that simple. You got to ask yourself, and I'm speaking to myself too, is what I'm putting on my plate gonna give me life, or is it gonna take life from me? And every time we eat something that we're not supposed to, it's taking life from us. And to everybody's point, Gary, I think you made the point about eating meat. I haven't eaten it in almost 7 years, but I know that feeling. You eat steak and meat, it just it just slows you down. But when you start to eat things that are a little bit more light, like fruits and vegetables, it actually gives you energy and you feel better. Like, I don't even take naps most of the time. So yeah, just all I say is just grow up and be responsible to yourself.
My final thoughts are simple: either respect your body, or have them people put some respect on your name at your funeral. That's all it boils down to, man. That's all it boils down to. Donovan be killing himself. I think tomorrow, we got to talk about some fun stuff. I tell you what, since we on the diet blast and all that there, man, I think we need to talk about something fun. I think we need to talk about something that really needs to be talked about. Um, because some people don't want to discuss this. And Demetri, I don't know how you're gonna get in this conversation, but I'm finna surprise you with it because it just needs to be talked about. All right. So, Donovan, I think you can handle this. Tomorrow night, 2020, is the year of the big girl. Seem like a lot of these quote unquote good looking black men, they grabbing them big girls and putting them on their arm. It must be something in that gallon of water that you're drinking every night. Tomorrow night, if you a big girl, if you got a big girl partner, tell her come on hang out with me. And then you'll understand why my name was EBWD, every big woman's dream. We gonna talk about it tomorrow night. If you a big girl, hot girl summer, it's a big girl summer. Until tomorrow, I'll holler at you.